Hey everybody, welcome to the Real United States, and it is our channel's 8th anniversary today. We have survived 8 long years, and this has been a slow year, and I suppose everybody sort of knows why. It's been a rough year for everyone, and we're no exception. Anyway, I can't believe we have managed to do an anniversary episode every year on the anniversary, so we haven't missed one. I'm not saying we never will, but you know, so far
we've been really good about doing this.
So far we've done very well, and we went back, of course, and watched last year's, and it was I don't know, that was pretty nice.
I thought last year's turned out very well, yes.
Yeah, that's one of the nice things about doing these, is for us, so we can go back and we can revisit you know, what we did in the previous year.
Yep.
Very slow year for us. Only made, well, if you include this episode, we only made 17 episodes this year. So
sorry about that, guys, but well, life put some restrictions on us.
Yeah.
All of us, not just us, but everybody. So we tried to keep making a few more videos to let you know that we're doing okay.
So what is that statistically? That's one and a half per month.
Yeah.
So whatever. I don't know, 3 weeks or something like that, I guess it would be.
Yeah, about one every 3 weeks.
So anyway, it's yeah, it's been a slow year. For a lot of reasons. It's been a year, it's come and gone, and as I told you in the last anniversary, I'd lost my job. I have not been back to work. So there hasn't been the finances to travel and do a lot of the things that we had done in the past. And so that's restricted us some. I mean, it's just the way it is. We're okay, but it's, you know, you're more conservative when you don't have as much resources. Anyway, that, and then of course, starting back in March is when it became official.
Yeah.
So half a year has been shot with either an outright quarantine or some form of, you know, restricted travel, restricted interactions, things like that, or us just not wanting to travel. You know, it's been voluntary. It wasn't thrust upon us. We have been, you know, staying out of circulation to...
yeah, we've mostly just been staying pretty much to ourselves, not going too far from home. We're just trying to stay safe and stay well.
Yeah, and of course, if you have been following the channel, we've done a lot with the garden. I mean, that has taken a lot of time.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of physical effort.
Yes.
Which we knew, but and yet it was still surprising. Beverly and I have both lost a significant amount of weight.
Yep.
Simply from the exercise we have gotten from, you know, pulling weeds and hoeing and planting and harvesting and lifting and bending and all the things that are involved in growing such a big garden.
Yep.
So, you know, I mean, I won't speak for my wife, but I've lost 15, 16, 18 pounds right in there.
And I've lost a whopping, drum roll please, 10 pounds, yay!
Yeah, just from the additional exercise. So it's had other benefits than just the what it's produced. It's been a very, very beneficial endeavor, and it makes us feel good. We like gardening.
Yeah,
we like canning. We like all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So that has, of course, taken up the majority of the videos recently. And the last video we did, of course, was the Just Rain episode. And I had at least one comment that, you know, hey, I thought that was kind of weird until I watched it, and then it was cool. But the reason for that is the episode we I swear to God, English is my first language. The episode we had done several years ago up in New England about tent camping in the rain. It was sort of a spontaneous one we did. And a lot of people, I don't want to say complained, but commented. They wished it had been longer. They wished, you know, this and that. You know, they wanted more. We wish we'd do more episodes like that. Well, okay, so... like, if y'all like rain, okay, this was a nice pretty even rainstorm, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to just quickly get the tripod out there and set it up and point it out in the yard and take that. And so it was, you know, sort of a by request kind of a thing. So it wasn't quite as strange as it may have seemed out of the blue.
The other reason that we did that is because, well, we didn't get any rain hardly at all this year for gardening. We had to water our garden all year with our 2 rainbirds that we had.
Yeah, that was
because we only had rain half a dozen times or less.
Yeah, it was an extremely, of course, you know, first time we grow the garden in several years, it's going to be dry. And
yeah.
So yeah, we had to run these big, we got these 6-foot tall rainbird sprinklers, and they were running, well, daily, all the time. And we didn't run them at night, but they did run pretty much, you know, all the time during the day. And so the rain episode was like, oh wow, a rainstorm, we ought to capture this. That's true.
Yeah.
I had forgotten about that actually. Anyway, not a great deal of episodes, you know, to go back and reminisce about. However, we always traditionally do our favorite and least favorite episodes. And again, if you watched last year's, I sort of shoved it off on Beverly to go first. And so I guess that makes it
your turn.
It makes it my turn. And boy, this is a tough one because, you know, I don't know that I have a least favorite episode. We didn't do that many bloody episodes. And we didn't do any in the real severe weather. Of course,
No.
we didn't have real severe weather in the wintertime. It was a relatively mild winter. So I can't say there was anything that I particularly didn't care for doing the episode.
Right.
You know, so I mean, woohoo, I don't have a least favorite. I mean, they were all, you know, good. By contrast, I don't have anything that particularly sticks out in my mind as, woohoo, I really enjoyed doing this one. You know, it was nice to do them all. I had a particularly good time going to Detroit, and we did several episodes in downtown Detroit. That was nice. I don't get into the heart of Detroit very often, so it was nice when we did the Cadillac, the landing of Cadillac, and the old Wayne County building, and the Joe Louis. Those were all shot in one day, by the way, folks. So collectively, that was a nice outing to do a series of videos. And the weather was nice. It wasn't particularly hot or cold, and it was sunny. And
it was a very nice day weather-wise. It was sunny, and it wasn't super hot or super cold. And it was nice to have a decent temperature and the sun out at the same time.
Yeah, so I would say that, you know, if I had to pick a favorite, if I was pressed to do it, I would say the landing at Cadillac was probably my favorite episode of the year. It's such a beautiful setting, and of course Cadillac is such an important figure to those of us, you know, here in Michigan and who were born and raised here, to the state's history. So that, I think, was probably my favorite by a small margin over the others, you know. How about you?
How about me? Well, there weren't any videos that we did in the last year that I particularly hated. So I don't have a least favorite. Sorry.
Well, same here.
My favorite video this year, I believe, is the one we did in August when we harvested all the zucchini and yellow squash, because the zucchini and both kinds of yellow squash grew, the straight neck and the crook neck yellow squash. All 3 of those squashes just went crazy this year with the amount that they produced. Once they started, they never stopped until frost. We had fresh zucchinis and yellow squashes from when they started producing all the way till we got frost this fall.
Yeah, I mean, it was amazing. We only planted What? One package of yellow squash and 2 packages of zucchini.
1 package of straight neck squash, one package
Right.
of crookneck squash, and
and
2 packages of zucchini.
Yeah, and we had more squashes than you can possibly deal with. I mean, so it was very
So we were good. We helped, took some around to our neighbors and gave them a happy summer treat a couple of times this year. So they got some fresh vegetables in them, whether they wanted them or not.
Everybody seemed real happy to get them. I mean,
Yeah.
they were, if nothing else, they were flight, and so we were able to not only, you know, have all we wanted and put away, you know, freeze or can whatever we wanted, but we were able to share with all of our immediate neighbors. Um, we haven't traveled to see family, you know, with all the restrictions and everything, so we didn't get to share it with them, unfortunately, but our daughter and family grew a garden that apparently was successful from what we saw through in the internet, and so that's good. So, you know, everybody's got fresh veggies. That was very good.
Yep. Yep.
But yeah. I mean, I don't know how to explain this. You know, a lot of people are having a very hard time with the isolation or the quarantine or whatever. I don't think we are. I mean, that's my opinion. We're relatively stay to ourselves people anyway. It may not seem like it, but we really are. So, you know, we have each other, and we have all more work to do than we could ever do in a lifetime. So we haven't been bored or sitting around, you know, just hand to mouth disease, or you're just eating all the time. We're physically active, and so
Yeah.
it hasn't really affected us in that way. But it certainly has affected, you know, like other aspects of our life. Like, well, we don't really get out and make videos, and
Yeah,
other
we
than in
don't.
the yard, you know.
We don't go out and see the things or go to the places that we want to go to. We've just stayed home, which, as he said, hasn't really been a problem because, well, the garden took a lot more than I thought it was going to this year. But that's what happens when you go away for 5 years, 5 seasons, and then you till it under and try and grow again. You have to weed continually, which takes a lot of time and a lot of energy. But we had a very successful garden. I've enjoyed all of it. I really didn't want to see summer end. It's been such a glorious summer from my point of view because we had a good garden, most of it. We had a couple of failures, but some of it wasn't our fault. We have seemed to have acquired some deer and a couple of families of bunny rabbits in the area that really liked a few things in the garden, which made me unhappy, but we're working on fixing the problem.
Yeah, the wildlife took its toll on certain crops in the garden, which we you know, improvise, overcome, and adapt on how we grow them so that we can, you know, still have produce. Anyway, that has been I don't know, the center of our world this year.
Yeah.
And it's been nice because it certainly helps keep your mind active and your body active, and it's good for you financially. It's good for you dietarily, you know.
Yeah, you're not bored if you're growing a garden. There's always something to do.
Right. So now the future. Well, who knows what the future holds? I think we have every reasonable expectation that we will continue to make videos. On what sort of a schedule? I don't know. I would like to make more videos, but again, in a way, we're busier now than when I was employed. Because when I was employed, you know, I'd work, I'd come home, we have our evenings free, our weekends free. I wasn't doing anything else, you know. When you're in your own home, it's a different critter because you got, you know, maintenance, and you got projects, and you got all the garden and all kinds of things going on. So it takes away from the time that you spend making videos.
Yeah, it does.
So I don't know what the schedule will be, and I wouldn't begin to speculate and promise you something that I don't know I can keep up with. But I think we're anticipating making more videos. We got plenty of ideas.
Yep.
And I even contacted some people this past summer about coming to video things, and then, well, I didn't do it because of the quarantine and yada yada. But we have ideas. We haven't run out of ideas. It's just a matter of being able to execute them. So
Right.
we're gonna, as always, we're gonna do the best that we can do.
Yep.
And you know, we have continued to grow. By the way, we just passed 7,100.
Yes.
Yeah, we just passed 7,100 subscribers. Thanks very much, everyone. Thanks for joining us, those of you who are new, and thanks for sticking with us, those of you who have been with us for years. I mean, we have a few very loyal friends that have been with us since the first month we started this channel back in 2012, and we deeply appreciate that too. So we're still growing. You know, at a fairly even keel. I mean, it doesn't seem to be, you know, picking up or slowing down.
No, and no matter what's going on in our lives or where we're living or what else is going on in the world, we keep trying to find interesting topics to do videos on so that you have something cool to watch for a change.
Yeah, so that's all I can tell you at this point. I don't know whether we'll find the time and the opportunity and the moxie to go ahead and make more videos right away, but we're certainly, it's something we want to keep doing. And so it's a little briefer this year because we just don't have that much going on.
I have one more thing to point out. All these little pumpkins and things that you see down here between us, yes, they did come from our garden.
Yeah, we had a lot of different pumpkins and squashes, both. So yeah, the bounty is everywhere around the house. Anyway, folks, we deeply appreciate everyone who's joined us and everyone who's stuck with us. And we hope that on those rare occasions when we do get a video out that you enjoy them. And we're going to keep on keeping on, I guess. And
Yep.
Happy anniversary, dear.
Happy anniversary.
8 years, wow. We might make it to a decade, you know. I mean,
Yep.
2 more years, we'll have the big 10-year mark. I see some other very prominent YouTubers have just passed their 10-year anniversary. I won't mention his name, PewDiePie. And so we're getting there. You know, another couple of years, we'll be at 10 years. But in the interim, we're gonna keep cranking them out somehow. So thanks very much for joining us, folks. You got questions, comments? Want to say hi? It's always nice to hear from everybody. Because like I said, we don't socialize a great deal. So if you want to socialize with us here, it's very nice. That's always cool. If you're new here, well, welcome, happy anniversary, and I hope you'll look around through the channel, see what there is, and maybe consider picking subscribe to come along for the adventure, because we got lots more to show you. And as always, folks, thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching.